The mission of Cleveland Rocks, Past, Present, Future, is to support and preserve Cleveland's popular musical culture, as well as enrich local social welfare and economic growth by stimulating music-centered initiatives.
So, Cleveland Rocks, Past, Present, and Future basically started out of kind of a look at the fact that we have the Rock Hall in Cleveland, but people don't really understand why. So, beyond Alan Freed. So, part of what happened around that time is that we lost Steve Popovich, who was a dear friend to a lot of people in Cleveland, but he was always loyal. I mean, he became vice president at Columbia Records and helped sign Michael Jackson and a host of other important stars over the years. But he came back to Cleveland and brought a record label, Cleveland International Records, back to Cleveland, and did the Meatloaf record, which became like one of the largest selling records in the world. And Cleveland had a big history of that kind of support in breaking artists. And there were a lot of people that worked in the industry that were not getting their stories told, including Jane Scott and Steve Popovich. So that was the first reason that I started the nonprofit, was to sort of start documenting that. But then it kind of grew into looking at the music scene in general and going, we have these amazing musicians that are incredibly talented in Northeast Ohio, and we really need to try to develop an incubator style nonprofit that can help support them get to the next level. With the Beachland, we helped get the Black Keys started, but they had to leave town to go to Nashville to start producing, and there really wasn't enough of an infrastructure here of business contemporaries for them to feel comfortable staying in Northeast Ohio. And that always made me sad. So part of our goal with Cleveland Rocks is to create an incubator space that we can try to structure, helping get managers and booking agencies and a whole business system and network going, that we can help some of these talented songwriters in Northeast Ohio. Now that we're in 2020 and we've had the COVID shutdown of all of the venues, and basically all of those wonderful musicians in Cleveland losing their gigs, we've pivoted and done this music relief fund. So we've been able in the last 3 months to help maybe 60 musicians now survive with grants of $400 and $500 each. And that's been incredibly rewarding to do. And I think the next step is to try to help the venues to survive. So that's one of the next steps that we're examining, because we're also part of National Independent Venue Association that grew out of this COVID problem. Nationally, there's 2,000 venues that are all struggling across the country to survive. So we're all talking about lobbying Congress to try to help get another PPP loan so that we can survive. And locally, we're hoping that the nonprofit is a way to get some funding that we can then redistribute to help keep the smaller venues in Northeast Ohio stable until we can get a vaccine and we can go back to our normal capacities.
Programming created in response to COVID-19. The Northeast Ohio Music Relief Fund has provided grants for over 50 musicians and venue workers in the Northeast Ohio musical community. The purpose of this effort is to help sustain our local music industry during the shutdown of performance venues.
Well, now that COVID has hit, I think one of the opportunities that we see going forward is the pivot to the live streaming so that we can work with educational institutions in Northeast Ohio to start training students how to do live streaming, because I think we see a need not only in the music industry but in all industries that need to help teach or relate to people remotely, where you're not going to be comfortable like having in-person exchanges. So let's try to help create more of a workforce for live streaming. I think that's the next step that Cleveland Rocks is going to take on. Well, I think one of the things that is fabulous about the Cleveland music scene is the respect that musicians have for each other and their support, regardless of style, regardless of age. I see an Alex Bevan supporting a Ray Flanagan, and a merger of styles, but they're still respectful of each other's work output. I think that's one of the most amazing things, that people are coming together to try to solve this problem. I mean, we're not doing it alone. I mean, there's a lot of other people that are out there that really want to see this happen. And the Rock Hall is supporting those efforts. The educational institutions are getting on board with Tri-C, and Baldwin Wallace just started a music business program. So I think there's this coming together of not only the musicians, but the institutions. And, music therapy, people we know are getting jobs in hospitals to do music therapy. There's a lot of opportunities, I think, here to grow music as an economy in Cleveland.
Hi everybody, I'm Brent Kirby. I'm a musician from Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm very proud to say that I've been awarded a grant from the Cleveland Rocks, Past, Present, and Future. It's a nonprofit that helps out the music scene and musicians here in Northeastern Ohio.
This relief fund means so much to me because as a full-time artist, when everything, was taken away in a matter of days due to COVID-19 and the pandemic, I kind of was, not knowing what was going to happen. And to know that something like this is available to myself and other artists who may not know what tomorrow brings or things like that, it created a sense of relief for me.
Like so many of my friends and colleagues, I saw all my income dry up in the span of just a few weeks, as this pandemic forced the shutdown of venues and cancellation of events.
We've got some awesome musicians in Northeast Ohio, and their livelihood is centered around playing, making music, because music makes people happy. Simple as that, and it makes us happy as well.
I think this relief fund is so much more than grocery money, because it says you have value, we want you to thrive, we want you to keep going, and that encouragement alone is pretty priceless.
This can change a life. This can change a current situation that doesn't look so positive for someone right now, and just make it a little bit easier.
We're giving these grants out to help us because we have no gigs, we have no source of income. And I'm sure other local musicians can attest to this. That's how we make a living. And we miss playing the music, but the bills keep coming, So thank you again, Cleveland Rocks Past, Present, and Future, and Northeast Ohio Music Relief Fund. I thank you sincerely for your help.
It just brings me hope that there are things happening in our community where we're taking care of each other. There are opportunities around us, and we just have to remain hopeful and stay positive.
None of us know when live music will be able to be part of our lives again, but this grant will help me and other recipients stay afloat as we navigate our way to a new normal.
Thank you so much for this. And I think I'm truly humbled that it comes from my peers, people who I've worked with and people who I admire very much. To be valued is the ultimate compliment. And I know this will go a long way into helping me and my family get through this weird, unpredictable time that we're in. So many people are out of work, and I know that we will not forget the support that we've been given.
The current climate of the music industry, with its fractions of pennies for streaming, doesn't always make us feel valued, but people do, and this relief fund does. And something like Cleveland Rocks organization is very helpful, pulling people together and helping people out, and it makes me feel very held by my community.
Cleveland Rocks. You know it, and I know it, but I'm specifically talking about Cleveland Rocks Past, Present, and Future, and that's clevelandrocksppf.org.
Name that tune.
Don't tread on her, for she is your sister. She was born with an American heart. And the people you meet down on the street may be good, but they don't want to know. So they cover their eyes, but who wants to be sad? Like a sweet at the bottom of the sea.
I breathe you in. We've kissed before 100 times, but you're still the same. I'm back for more before I even try to think of the buzz, of the need for another piece. Don't you feel the same? You're there for me before I even have to ask. I'm waiting for the chance to have you in my hands, to burn you down. And when we go, I can feel you in my bones. Don't make it stop. She's the one I need, and she's the only one I got. It's guaranteed that in the morning when I get up, she'll be on the countertop. Let's go again. Breakfast is done and now we're headed out again. We're on the porch and I would light your fire again, but my pocket is empty. And when you're gone, I can feel you in my bones. I'm back again. It's 10:04. I'm at the supermarket, just waiting for